This is your News Source Evening Bulletin for today, Friday, the 28th of October in the year 2022. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting, and here's what we're tracking tonight. Attorney at law and former prosecutor Tamika Clark was arrested and detained by the Special Organized Crime Unit this morning after she advised a client of hers who was being questioned by SOCU not to sign a prepared statement and to exercise their right to silence. The incident took place this morning at the SOCU headquarters, and it has triggered calls for a major investigation as well as a call for a full apology and compensation for the attorney. Attorneys Nigel Hughes and other lawyers from his law firm and attorney Sean Allicock rushed down to the SOCU headquarters and secured the release of the attorney. At a press conference in the company of attorneys Nigel Hughes and Sean Shuram, Ms. Clark recounted that her client had been reporting to the SOCU headquarters on different days over the past week in connection with an investigation. She said that during the visit this morning, after she advised her client not to sign the prepared statement and to remain silent, she was immediately arrested by SOCU investigators, had her phone taken away, and prevented from leaving the building.
The officer who arrested me is a male officer, took my phone from me. And then one of the officers, another officer there, said, get the female rank from the gate because she has to be the one to arrest her. The female rank came up. They started to prepare statements, started to prepare a record in a book. They came, they asked me my name. I tried to leave. I got up and I was walking out. Sergeant Singh ran and blocked the door. Then Sergeant Singh went back and he started to make a record in a book. The officer who arrested me stood by the door, so I couldn't leave. The female officer came, she said she wanted my watch. Take off the watch, take off the watch. I didn't say anything. I remained silent until my attorneys came. And then when Mr. Hughes would have assisted.
Attorney at law Nigel Hughes said the incident must be seen for what it was, an attack on the local bar, and it must be condemned by all. He said the Constitution provides the right for anyone in custody to remain silent, and the attorney was doing her job when she advised her client to enforce that right. Mr. Hughes said the incident has raised deep concern about the way the police conduct its work and threats to officers of the court.
In this case, Ms. Clark's client was the subject of an investigation. She advised her client. She also informed SOCU that she had so advised her client, i.e., they have the right to remain silent. They say to her in advance on Tuesday that we will arrest you if you give the client the advice that you have said you've given to them, which is consistent with the Constitution. I just want us to ponder on this, because this is not a PPP, PNC, APNU, AFC, or anybody else issue. This is an issue where every attorney in this country, including the Attorney General when he's in private practice, is entitled to go to the station and advise their client that they have the right to remain silent if they're the suspect.
Attorney Hughes said the actions of the Special Organized Crime Unit must also be seen as an attack on the Constitution and the rule of law. He has explained that he will be filing action against SOCU on behalf of the attorney Tamika Clark as early as next week. More news coming up in just a moment.
At Giftland Office Max, we're all about customer satisfaction. Whether it's clothing and shoes for the ladies, gents, and kids, or for the latest electronics or hardware appliance, we're always thinking of satisfying you, our dear customers. Now you can shop online at www.giftlandofficemax.com or visit us at the Giftland Mall, where we're happy to serve each and every one of you.
Get in the game with Buster. Win a full gaming setup, Xbox X, gaming chair, gaming speaker and headset, or any of over 60 weekly prizes like Oculus Quest 2, Mini 2 drone, Nintendo Switch, and many more top gaming prizes. Check below for details.
Saturday, October 29th, Brassman Grand in Sand Road, Suicide will come alive when 592 Movement in Highway Cafe. Please on the big show and jam car. Chutney meets up, the lineup top. Hikari sing.
Up and gone away.
Chomo Primo.
I live in my life.
Carlin Burnett, Bonita Willie, and Petty Kish will take the stage live. One Boys Family, One Link, and Silver Stars gonna juggle. Early bird tickets $1,000, gates $1,500. Chutney meets Soca, Saturday, October 29th in Soosdijk.
Welcome back. Well, the Guyana Bar Association and the Guyana Women Lawyers Association have expressed their shock and disgust over the actions of the Special Organized Crime Unit to arrest attorney-at-law Tamika Clark for advising her client to remain silent during questioning by SOCU investigators. In a statement this afternoon, the Bar Association said that the rule of law and the fundamental right to counsel are stated to be hallmarks of a democratic society. The association said the actions by SOCU have threatened the foundations of democracy, and stern action should follow those who were involved in the matter. The Bar Association condemned the action of the Guyana Police Force and said the action is disturbing and unlawful and oppressive and is wholly unacceptable. The Bar Association called for the police commissioner to issue an apology to the attorney Tamika Clark and for the police to also compensate her for her unlawful arrest and to launch an investigation into the matter with such necessary disciplinary action to be enforced swiftly, including charges being laid against the offending officers. The Bar Association also said that disciplinary action must also be taken, including termination, against those officers who allow the type of conduct. Around 10 o'clock this morning, the attorney was arrested and kept in the custody of SOCU for almost an hour. The Bar Association said the actions of SOCU cannot be supported and must be condemned. The association noted that the arrest of the attorney came on the heels of a threat being issued to her earlier in the week that she would be arrested if her client did not sign the statement. Meanwhile, the Guyana Association of Women Lawyers said the actions by SOCU intimidated Ms. Clark and prevented her from executing her duties to her client. The group said at no time should an attorney be fearful of executing his or her duties. According to the Association of Women Lawyers, an attorney-at-law has the legal right and responsibility to offer legal counsel to their client. And one such responsibility is to remind that client that he or she cannot be compelled to give evidence in a criminal matter, and that is enshrined in the Constitution. The group said the attorney advising her client that he has a right to remain silent during an interview is not outside of the scope of the law. And the Association of Women Lawyers calls on the Guyana Police Force and the Police Commissioner to issue an apology and cause an investigation to be promptly conducted into the actions of the Special Organized Crime Unit. Describing the arrest of attorney Tamika Clark by the Special Organized Crime Unit as an unfortunate incident, Attorney General Anil Nandlal today said once he became aware of the situation, he contacted the head of SOCU, and the investigating officer admitted clear to them that the attorney ought to be released.
I called Mr. Karim Baksh and inquired of the circumstances surrounding the alleged detention of Ms. Tamika Clark, and he offered an explanation. In that explanation, of course, he confirmed that Ms. Clark was being detained. I advised Mr. Karim Baksh to immediately release Ms. Clark from police custody. I made contact also with the officer who was conducting the investigation, and I advised that Ms. Clark ought to be released immediately. I made contact again with Mr. Sean Alicock, and I informed him of the developments which have taken place, meaning my intervention and the advice that I proffered. He told me that he is, or he was, at SOCU's headquarters when he was speaking to me, and I asked him if Ms. Clark is in his proximity. He said yes. I asked him to speak with Ms. Clark. I spoke with Ms. Clark and I informed her of my intervention and my advice, and I offered my apologies as a colleague of the bar for the unfortunate incident.
The Attorney General said he was first contacted about the issue by Attorney Sean Alicock of the Alicock & Dodson law firm. The attorney who was arrested, Tamika Clark, is attached to the Alicock & Dodson law firm. The Attorney General said he became involved in the issue as the Chief Legal Advisor of the Guyana Police Force. The arrest of the young attorney has triggered calls for a full investigation of the incident and for apologies to be issued by the Guyana Police Force.
Kissoon's annual mega sale is here again. Come and enjoy fantastic deals from the 21st to the 30th of October. Prices are slashed store-wide. Opening hours 7:15 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Saturdays, and 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Sundays. Don't miss out on these great deals. See you there.
Calling all prospective homeowners. The government of Guyana, through the Ministry of Housing and Water, will be rolling out its steel and cement housing subsidy program from Tuesday, October 25, 2022. Applicants must be a citizen of Guyana residing in the country, must be in possession of a title or transport for their house lot, must have an approved building plan and loan approval from a financial institution. Persons with a builder's estimate below $6 million can qualify for 1 sling of cement, 80 lengths of half-inch steel rods, and 63/8-inch rods. Those with builder's estimate ranging from $6 million.
Saturday, October 29th, Brassman, Grambling, Sand Road, Suzoy will come alive when 592 Movement in Highway Cafe. He's on the big show and jam car. Chutney meets out, the lineup top. Hikari sing.
Up and gone away.
Chomo Primo.
I live in my life.
Carlin Burnett, Bonito Willie, and Petty Kish will take the stage live. One Boy's Family, Wadley, and Silver Star's gonna juggle. Early bird tickets $1,000. Gates $1,500. Chutney meets Soca. Saturday, October 29th in Soosdijk.
President Irfan Ali today defended the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and his own handling of the Charandas Prasad issue and his decision to recall him as High Commissioner to India. Speaking to reporters this morning, the president said that he acted once he saw the video evidence of Prasad cursing out a female Indian professor outside his official residence in India. The president said while the Ministry of Foreign Affairs was aware of the incident, its decision to declare the matter a closed one was made before the video evidence surfaced. He also said the decision was also based on the information from the Indian authorities that a complaint could not be substantiated. 2 days ago, the president announced the recall of the High Commissioner, stating that Charandas Prasad has agreed to return home from his diplomatic posting. It is unclear whether Prasad, who is also a resident of Canada, has left India. President Ali today said that he has not decided on a replacement, although interest has been flowing into him. The Foreign Affairs Ministry has been accused of a cover-up of the issue, since it took place over a year ago and there was no action on the part of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, although it was made aware of the incident. A group of women rights activists here in Guyana has said that Charandas Prasad should not remain in the employ of the government over his disgusting verbal assault of the woman in India. Let's tell you now that the Minister of Natural Resources, Vikram Bharat, has approved a 5-year master plan of the oil companies for local content in the oil and gas sector. The 5-year master plan is intended to provide the Minister and the Local Content Secretariat with an understanding of the contractor, subcontractor, or licensee projected activities with regard to employment, procurement, and capacity development of Guyanese suppliers. Additionally, the plan includes an amendment which ensures that Guyanese suppliers of the petroleum sector are paid within 30 to 45 days upon receipt of the correct invoice. The plan is also enforceable as per the Local Content Act. The president of ExxonMobil Guyana, Alastair Rutledge, said the plan for the most part will benefit the people of Guyana, and he hailed the government's endorsement. He said the resource that they are producing belongs to the people of Guyana, and the company is committed to ensuring that the people benefit. For his part, the Minister Vikram Bharat reminded the signing companies and the executives that many of the suppliers of Guyana's oil and gas sector operate on a cash flow basis, and that the amendment to include a reduced payment period will bode well for the suppliers' growth and competitiveness in the industry.
Oh, me mama, oh my God, what the shot is by here, so I left up on the ground for dead in. Hey, call an ambulance. Mommy, me get credit. Oh my guy, hey, this. Hello, hello. Yes, you don't understand, the man get shot in the chest. He lay down right there, he dying, yeah, and he'll, but you don't understand, I see nothing, no, I see when this car drive past and shoot his spot in his stomach. The man lay down in front of me here right now, rolling. Oh my guy, hey, people, watch what go on here, sir. Don't shoot this poor boy here, so oh my God. This is what this country go on with, dog. This is what the poor thing. Nobody not even help the boy. They don't sit down here, so not take pictures, so this is what people can go through in this life here, so what? Oh, I'm bleeding now. Hey, shut your mouth. Shut up. You don't see me there life what type of people go on, eh? Tell the ambulance. But like you're not here, shut your mouth, eh?
It's Nothing to Laugh About, Part 13.
We counting we. From region 1 to region 10, the whole country.
We've just completed our census interview. It's quite a simple process. Whenever the team comes to your home, kindly cooperate and get the interview done, because it's also important for the information to be available to us as a government to plan and implement our programs and projects for the development of Guyana. A development that you will benefit from.
We counting we. From region 1 to region 10, the whole country.
Food Max Supermarket, located on the ground floor at the Giftland Mall, is your one-stop shop for all your grocery needs. We stock a variety of imported frozen meat and food products, fresh produce, and pet supplies, freshly made bread. Rotisserie chicken and patties are also available daily. Shop in comfort today at Food Max and let our courteous staff assist you in satisfying your shopping needs. Food Max, the fresh food specialist.
Rooms and more, Republic, a brand new rug on the floor. Come to Republic, come to Republic. Whatever you need, you got it. Come to and get your mortgage. Live the dream with Republic.
95 to 100% financing, 50% waiver of negotiation fees, plus one lucky person gets their mortgage paid in full. Turn some day into today. Talk to Republic Bank about your low-cost mortgage today.
Get in the game with Buster. Win a full gaming setup, Xbox X, gaming chair, gaming speaker and headset, or any of over 60 weekly prizes like Oculus Quest 2, Mini 2 drone, Nintendo Switch, and many more top gaming prizes. Check below for details.
Fuel it up and drive, super 95. Tune up, fuel it up and drive, super 95. Tune up. Protect
Guyol's Super 95 gasoline gives you more reasons to drive and is available at 56 service stations nationwide. For affordable price, high performance, and high mileage, choose Guyol's Super 95 gasoline.
Fuel it up and drive.
Across the region tonight, Brazil's leftist presidential candidate Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva maintains the lead over his far-right adversary President Jair Bolsonaro ahead of this Sunday's runoff election. That's according to two polls today that show the race is roughly stable. Lula leads by 52.4% of the votes, against 46% for Bolsonaro, according to the latest poll from Atlas Intel. Another poll showed Lula widening his lead slightly to 5 percentage points from 4 points a week earlier. Analysts say any sign of stability is good for Lula at this point in the campaign, with few days for Bolsonaro to catch up. The number of undecided voters at this stage of the race and those who say they will vote blank is down to just 1.6% of the electorate, according to the polls. And excluding the undecided and the blank or annulled votes, Lula would win 53.2% of the valid votes, according to the polls. Lula won the first round of the election on the 2nd of October in a field of 11 candidates by 48.4% of the valid votes to 43% for Bolsonaro. Pollsters were widely criticized for significantly underestimating support for Bolsonaro. In Grenada, the Grenada Tourism Authority has announced that September visitor arrivals recorded an 11% global increase from 2019. The U.S. market recorded a 55% increase from 2019, a result of the increase in capacity from JetBlue, as well as increased load factors on JetBlue and American Airlines. Arrivals from the UK market were also up, recording an increase of 21%, with strong performances from Virgin Atlantic and British Airways. The German market recorded a 39% increase. Officials in the island of Grenada said despite their direct airlift from Canada and Europe coming back online in November, and with the Caribbean flights not back to pre-pandemic levels, they are heartened by such a strong performance during a traditional tough month. It therefore shows, they said, that their strategy of focusing on diverse and inclusive local experiences, especially at the community level, and promoting Grenada as a tri-island destination focused on sustainability is working. The managing director of Cuyaba Beach Resort said there is no doubt that the last 2 years have been a challenge for many businesses, but tour operators in Grenada are pleased with the uptick in arrivals. And finally tonight, international news. Flash floods and landslides set off by torrential rain swamped the southern Philippine province, killing at least 42 people, leaving 16 others missing, and trapping some residents on their roofs, officials said today. Most of the victims were swept away by rampaging floodwaters and drowned, or were hit by debris-filled mudslides in 3 towns in one province. The unusually intense rains were triggered by the tropical storm Nalgae, which was expected to slam into the country's eastern coast from the Pacific Ocean on Saturday, according to forecasters. The stormy weather prompted the Coast Guard to prohibit sea travel in dangerously rough seas, as millions of Filipinos plan to travel over a long weekend to visit the tombs of relatives and for family reunions on All Saints' Day. Several rescue teams are all across the country hoping to recover those trapped by the floodwaters. And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight and this week. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting and encouraging you to stay safe.